Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. Jags favored by 6.5 here in Tennessee. Over-under is 41.5. It's Sunday at 1. The 7-4 Jags and the 1-10 Titans. Jags are at this point where a bunch of 7-4 teams, bunch of 6-5 teams in the AFC. Jags are technically the 6th seed right now. So Chargers, Jaguars, and Bills are all 7-4. Texans, Steelers, and Chiefs are all 6-5. It is a playoff picture that can absolutely flip on its head week to week. So there's no slip-ups allowed here if you're the Jags. And this is an important one against the Tennessee Titans, where Cam Ward's coming off probably his best game as a pro. I would say statistically, but also all the film bros agree he's looking good.
Yeah, he is. I mean,
film bros unite around Cam Ward overcoming some obstacles.
I think it would be hard to be watching him and say there's no development or no improvement in the last few weeks. I think he has definitely ticked up in the last few weeks, and he himself has been saying the classic cliches of, the game's slowing down for me now. And I think he looks like that. Like, he looks like somebody that just has a little bit more time, even though he doesn't, right? And I think that's all you can ask for from a Tennessee perspective down the stretch is, we're going to suck, and actually it's a better thing if we don't win games. But if we could just see some slight signs of improvement from the quarterback that we drafted number 1 overall and hadn't played well for the first half of the year, that would be great. And that's happening.
And then the quarterback on the other side, former number 1 overall pick in year 5 of his career, it's just funny because it's Ward's first year and you see 2 or 3 throws a game where you're like, okay, the potential's there. Got to clean up some other stuff. You got to miss, but the potential's there. Well, we're having like the same conversation with Lawrence where the high-end stuff is out of this world. Not out of this world, but it's really good. As Dan O said, like there were throws on tape where Lawrence looks like the best quarterback in the league. And can you say that for every quarterback? No, but you could say that for a lot of quarterbacks, right? If you just put the highlight reel out there. But Lawrence's highlight reel is special quarterback stuff. It's like it's not just this is an accurate go ball.
Right.
It's the crazy anticipation. It's a scramble drill play. It's a throw in between 3 defenders where it's like right on the helmet. Some really special stuff from Trevor Lawrence, but there's also some blatant misreads of coverage and inconsistency there. So we're in week 13 still looking for more consistent play from Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean, yes. We talked about this coming out of last week, that his highlight reel is amazing. His low light reel is amazing. And honestly, the only players that you sort of really have that wild, polarizing debate on are mid-tier quarterbacks. Nobody really is making the argument that Josh Allen is just not very good. Nobody really is making that argument for any of those top-tier quarterbacks. You only really get that argument about mid-tier quarterbacks like currently Trevor Lawrence and other players before him. I think that sort of says it all for Lawrence right now, as he is and has been, really, for his entire NFL career, some form of mid-tier quarterback who is capable of special plays but also pretty bad plays.
And he's almost like Bryce Young, where I'm like, all right, throw it the first year, and it could have been, I feel like we have this conversation all the time, but year 2, there was just like Jordan Love's first year starting, but it took the second year for Trevor Lawrence. The second half of 22, he was awesome. The second half of 2022, he answered a lot of the questions that I had. Carry the team, be more consistent, big-time throws, fourth quarter comebacks, take care of the ball. So it was half a season of excellent play from Trevor Lawrence. And my excuse for him the last 2 years was drops and injuries. I'm like, production could have been better, drops and injuries. And this year, drops are still there. Trust me, drops are still there. But he's been at fault as well. Now, what I think they do have, I'm interested in this budding development of him and Jacoby Myers. Like, Jacoby Myers might be playing himself into a future contract with the Jags as this dependable and high-end possession receiver.
And Parker Washington. All the receivers
I love Parker Washington still, yeah.
All the receivers that aren't the 2 we were excited about coming into the season have been really good for them. Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, these are the guys, Brenton Strange, these are the guys that are all looking amazing for this team right now. Meanwhile, Brian Thomas Jr. is supposed to be like wide receiver, like top 5 wide receiver in football, for some reason has broken himself this year, and him and Trevor Lawrence can't get on the same page. And Travis Hunter, this wide receiver 1 in the draft class, is hurt because he was playing both ways.
I wonder if it's going to be a discussion this offseason where they say, are we better off with Jacoby Myers? Say Travis Hunter's our 1, Jacoby Myers is our high-end possession 2, and Parker Washington, who I think his contract might be up now or close to it, is our 3. He's a beautiful 3. And we actually don't want the inconsistency of Brian Thomas Jr. in this mix here. Or you're just stacking all of them and saying BTJ, Travis Hunter, we'll still sign Myers, and we'll have Parker Washington, and we'll just be potentially loaded at receiver. So I think they've got some interesting decisions in Jacksonville there. But there's already some chemistry with Myers. Washington, not only a great big plays as a receiver when he's catching the ball, but as a punt returner. And Jags should win this game. But again, I think Cam Ward's showing enough. It was a fourth quarter comeback against Houston. There was some big time throws last week against Seattle. I know they were down a lot. I think Cam is creeping toward he's going to steal a win in one of these games the way he's playing. Cam Ward.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, absolutely. He's playing. They've been playing a lot of reasonably close games for a lot of the season, and if he can make a couple of those plays here or there, then absolutely they could sneak a win. How insane would it be, by the way, if Brian Thomas Jr. ends up becoming the next? His name's just dropped out of my head. The other former LSU wide receiver who I didn't like and looked great in year 1 and then disappeared.
DJ Chark.
Yes, DJ Chark, who didn't like him at all as a prospect, and then year 1 was amazing. And I was like, you're an idiot. Of course he's a spectacular player, and then his career just fell off a cliff from that moment on. He's probably not in the league anymore, or at least one of those guys that only exist in the league during training camp seasons. I'll be annoyed if Brian Thomas Jr. does that because I was completely turned around on him after his rookie year.
Apologized for your teams.
Right, after his rookie season, but it's trending that way at the moment.
Titans schedule really quick. Jags this week. They're at Cleveland next week. We might be looking at Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, the potential 1-2 picks going at it. Just a first rounder and a fifth rounder.
Dude, the number of people that Shedeur Sanders can make eat their words if he is in fact the next Tom Brady would be remarkable.
It's workout partner, him and Cam Ward.
Yeah, but he can go and show that he should have been the number 1 overall
in Cleveland.
quarterback.
We're going to be talking Cam playing weather. They're at the Niners. They're home against the Chiefs. Then they got the Saints and then the Jags again. So I think one of those games, Cam Ward takes over, steals a win. But, it could be the Browns aren't great and the Saints aren't great. So, yeah, of course that could happen. I think they upset one of these winning teams.
Yeah.
Is it this week against the Jags?
I would assume not, but the Jags are one of those, because Trevor Lawrence is so wildly inconsistent, it's hard to ever fully buy into what they're doing. I think their defense is better. I think their run game is better. I think a lot of what they're doing is better. But if Lawrence has a couple plays that are rough, it's that immediately invalidates all of that.
All right, Jags by 6.5. Where are you going to go?
I'm going to go with the Jags to cover that and win.
I concocted this picture in my head of Cam Ward.
Upset.
Give me Tennessee. 6.5. I'm taking a lot of dogs this week. I'm taking all the dogs this week against my nature. December football. Thanksgiving football. You take the dogs. Harry's taking the Jags.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.